Welcome back to another edition of the High School Football Live Show. I'm Braden Surprenant along with Chris Smith, aka TopDAWG. We've been in many different locations there, Chris. We've been in a hotel, we've done it at a restaurant, a Buffalo Wild Wings, your house, and now we're in a community center down here in Chula Vista. We like to roam a little bit on the High School Football Live Show. Good week last week, obviously, when it came to some game picks, more for me than for you. I had to go back and count up like the last 2 weeks of game picks. The spread hurts us more than it helps us. It seems like, but I'm now 29-12. You're 22-19. We only have
29-12.
Yeah,
dude. What did I tank last week or what?
You tanked last week.
How bad?
I mean, Mir Mesa didn't help you out. You picked Ramona over Madison.
Oh, I was 5-6.
Yeah, there's a couple, but again, it was all
You
the
only
spread.
lost one game.
I did. We only hit the spread on a couple.
Jesus, I tanked.
So that's our.
Wait. Say that about Madison again.
You picked Ramona over Madison.
And let me guess, Madison won.
Yeah.
I hate
You picked the opposite of Madison.
What is this? What is this?
You picked the opposite of Madison.
You think I'm joking? Like every time I bet
That's
Madison,
why.
I'm not doing Madison games anymore, dude.
It was funny. It was like because I went and rewatched it, and I picked Madison. It was 2 weeks ago, and the three players at Lincoln and Jason Carter all picked Madison, and you're like, I'm picking Ramona, and we're all like, all right, good. That means we're gonna win.
That's horrible.
But yeah, so that was kind of it. I mean, we didn't really have too much time to break down too many of the games that happened last week, obviously, because we were on the road. I was scrolling through, and there was a lot of, I wouldn't say upsets, but a lot of surprises for me when I was looking at some of the games. And, I was looking at one of them in particular. How about Carlsbad, Mission Hills? And Mission Hills only losing by, I think it was what, like 6 without their starting quarterback.
7, wasn't it? It was 13-6.
It was either 13-6 or 13-7, but it was within one score. Valiant effort for Mission Hills. Is Mission Hills better than we think, or is Carlsbad coming down to earth a little bit?
I was always big on Mission Hills. I've been big on Mission Hills all year long. But Gunner being hurt, that obviously hurts him. I wasn't surprised that it was a low-scoring game, but I am a little disappointed in Carlsbad. I thought that they would put up more points against that defense. They didn't. They went 13-7. I think it shows more about Carlsbad's offense than it does anything else.
A couple of the games we picked, we both thought La Casa Cane would blow out San Marcos. They won 21-17. That game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Ramona beats Fallbrook by a touchdown. I thought that was kind of interesting to see as well. And then Poway dismantling Vista 55-14, another game that we picked. How about Coronado dropping 78 on Kearney? Wow, that's a lot of points.
Wow,
that's a lot of points.
Yeah, I'm putting my 2s in. I don't know if I want to put. I don't want to. Listen, I'm not putting 78 up on a guy. I think
you could score 78 with your 2s on.
Yeah, but
it's possible. I've seen it happen before.
I mean, Bishop's put up 61.
That's right.
So I don't know. 78 though. I don't know, dude. I listen. Once you get past 50, it's like call dogs off.
35-14, Helix over St. Augustine. We both picked Helix in that one. I was not overly surprised. And you said it best last week on the show. You said, until Saints proves me something, I can't roll with them on any of their game picks. And it doesn't get easier for Saints. And we talked about it in the hotel last week. We were like, how many Western League games do they win? And it's probably going to be La Jolla only. We'll see what happens. But it's a tough year for St. Augustine. Lincoln hammers Steel Canyon 43-10.
Surprised there.
I'm not surprised.
Wait, by the way, something talking about that game. Did you see the still image of Roderick Robinson after you stiff on that kid from?
Oh yeah, I did see
that. It wasn't photoshopped. That was pretty bad, man. I was like, ooh,
I feel bad for Steel because Steel Canyon's in that range where it's like
but they're not afraid to play anybody. So
I totally love that. But they're in that range, right, where they're too good to be, playing teams like Hilltop or something like, or down in the South Bay, and they're not good enough to hang with the upper teams. But then they're almost like San Diego State in the sense where it's like, if you're a team in the Avocado League, you might be better than Steele, but do you really want to go play Steele? Kind of one of those deals.
You have more to lose than gain.
Right, you have more to lose than gain. But I think Coach Larnwell is doing a great job for the Cans. I know the record's probably not showing you right now, but he's going to get that program going again. And like you said, they're not afraid to play. They're playing everybody in the Western League aside from La Jolla. And I think if La Jolla was in the Western League by the time Steele Canyon made the schedule, they'd probably be on their schedule too.
Probably would. I mean, Larnwell, he's gonna, he believes he's playing the best, so he plays the Western League.
So that he gets them ready for the Grossmont League. The one loss that I had, I jumped in with you. I thought Otay Ranch was going to be Granite. Getting back to the winning ways with a 35-14.
Yeah. I mean, I think both of us picked that. I thought Otay Ranch was showing a little more than what they did.
Modern day hammered La Jolla 56-18. Did Stratton play in that game? I was unable to watch the KPR up in North California. See, that's a big impact. Now, if he, that's a different La Jolla team without him than it is with him, and we'll see how the Western League plays.
I don't know that the quarterback play had that much to do with this game.
I'm talking about moving forward. I mean, obviously that score proves that Modern Day is better than La Jolla, but
we're watching. I didn't see it. I went back and looked at some of it, and they just had more dudes. I mean, Modern Day's got dudes all over the field. Just got better athletes. Looked like some of the skill position players for La Jolla were out, so they didn't just play. And then the game was one of the losses in my opinion.
I have to clarify something we didn't think, because Cajon actually played Grossmont, not El Cajon Valley. Despite what the PA announcer said at Grossmont High School the day before when I was out there coaching, it was like, that was like why we got to play them, because El Cajon Valley didn't have a JV team, so it was like, and the PA announcer was like, oh, we should have come out for homecoming against El Cajon Valley. I don't know if the schedule changed what happened, but it was Cajon that showed up. That's a little bit different than El Cajon Valley.
That's a big difference.
And they put Grossmont down 39-7. How about, I don't like, you don't want to give too many, props when it comes to just scheduling and not doing well. Grossmont's played some two teams out of county that have been pretty solid.
Hold on.
Lost the lights.
Last lights. I think these are movement lights.
Do I need to stand up? No, all right. Well, it's a little bit moody now. Do you have some wine or something?
Don't give me ideas. Ain't that kind of party.
Hey, well, we're going to Nicolosi's next week.
Next week, yes, we're gonna go see Ron Burner. We're gonna sit
Do they
down.
have blue lighting like this at the Italian restaurant?
No, we don't. And I don't know if we're gonna go on the bar side or we're gonna go to the restaurant side. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a good time. So be out, feel free to come down and enjoy us.
We're gonna talk to the twins.
Oh,
Yoki brothers.
Yoki brothers.
Yoki.
The big reason why they have the record that they have.
One game I want to talk about before we move on. I don't even know if we picked this or not. With San Diego, Canyon Hills, Sarah. 50-6. I actually thought that game would be a lot closer.
I mean, Canyon Hills didn't have a head coach until what, like 2 weeks before the season started?
Yeah, but
it's a lot of.
San Diego is very thin. They're
Right.
very, very thin on players. I think they have 23 varsity players. So I didn't think that score would be 50-6. That's a blowout.
I've come to see, like, at least maybe this season and some other seasons, it's been a lot of games in high school with the way that the game is played right now. They get out of hand quick.
Yeah.
I mean, they just get out of hand quick. Where it's like, we've seen it twice now in person with Cathedral. It's like, look, they're battling. All of a sudden, 3 plays don't go their way. Boom, they're trailing.
You mean like 4 passes?
Yeah, well, no, 3 passes and one fumble. But I mean, those 4 turnovers in their own territory. All of a sudden the score escalates.
I'm gonna say it just because I did not fly 300-something miles to have 4 turnovers. So you cannot have 4 turnovers and expect to win a game.
Well, there's a couple things on that. Okay, so
Defense played the lights out, by the way. We give props out to one kid, 2 kids in particular. Number 1 kid I think that stepped up was Marcus Racklin. I gotta give that kid props. I think he came in and laid hat. Kind of word on the street was Marcus didn't like to hit. Well, he proved me wrong in that game. That kid came in and laid a Malachi Williams type hit on one of their running backs, and he showed he's not afraid to put his nose in there. And then the second kid I thought they showed a great deal of mental toughness was the freshman
Madden Faremo?
Madden Faremo. That kid showed me a lot. He got absolutely destroyed by a tackle, but the kid held his ground and held the edge, and he showed that he's got a great deal of mental toughness. I think San Diego better watch out for that kid.
Let me ask you this. A very uncharacteristic play by Cathedral in turnovers this season. 6 against Torrey Pines, another 4 against De La Salle. They've turned the ball over, I think, in almost every game, I think, for maybe the Helix game. Is that a cause for concern moving forward that could potentially hurt Cathedral here in San Diego play?
Absolutely. Not in San Diego play?
Yes. Or are they just – because,
Listen,
look,
I
if they
think
play
in
against
San
Lincoln and they
Diego-
turn the ball over 6 times, it's going to be tough to get out of there with a win.
6 times, yes, I agree. 4 times, I think they can still come out with a dub. Now, what concerns me more, and I'm probably going to get a lot of ration of stuff for this Friday night, play calling in the third quarter was too conservative. There was a drive in the third quarter that I thought if you run my Wu-Tang, what's his name?
Derek Wu.
On a slant in that situation, we get the first, we continue the drive. They went on a slant to Rex, who dropped the ball. They tried to go over the top. Rex dropped the ball. I didn't like those play calls. The other part is Cathedral was having success running the ball up the middle early in the third quarter. We abandoned that to start throwing the ball outside. So some of the play calling concerns me. I've seen a little bit of inconsistency over the course of 5 games. I understand each game has a different game plan, but I think the part that concerns me is I'm seeing other teams make adjustments drive by drive. I'm not seeing Cathedral make those same adjustments.
We'll see this based on watching film. It was a handful of times where it was like, half the line's doing the right thing, the other half's not doing the right thing.
Game 5, though?
It happens. I mean, it happens in high school all the time. I see it I see it a lot, not only in just Cathedral games. But and the other thing, too, you got to make plays. There was a lot of times where they had opportunities to make plays. They didn't make them.
That is one.
Drop passes, and it's, Rex had only a 1 or 2. But it wasn't just Rex. Ramon dropped a pass. Derek Wu dropped a pass. I mean, you start going down the list, there's drop passes. You watch the way that Charlie Meyer played the game, and, he's making throws off his back foot. He's a little light feet, and not setting his feet making the throw. And when he does make good throws, they made plays. Yeah. But you got to be able to make plays. And the other thing, too, I'm still waiting to see it out of this team, but with all the Cathedral teams that I've, been able to watch throughout the years, they've had that one go-to playmaker that keeps the team in the game.
I don't see an alpha dog.
No, there isn't. I haven't seen it yet.
I mean, listen, Lucky's been the guy, this and that. I mean, they've got some good team leadership, but I'm talking about a playmaker, a guy that's going to put the ball in their hand and change the game. We've seen that against, Corona Centennial with their running back and their safety. We saw that again against De La Salle. Number 10 absolutely took the bull by the horns, showed what, that alpha dog mentality looks like, and went out there and just stuck it to Cathedral. The problem is Cathedral doesn't have that one guy that's going to say, I'm going to put this team on my back, and we're going to win this game.
Well, that's the recipe that Cathedral's had for success against the Narbonnes in the past.
You've had your Sean Pomas.
You had, exactly. It's the script that you see all the time. Cathedral goes against a team from out of town that's bigger, faster, stronger than they are. Okay, they punch them in the mouth with the wing tee.
Yep.
Okay, and the defense plays strong. They rally to the football, and by the time that the other team figures it out, it's too late. But the other thing, too, that you get that home run call by Sean Poma, right? Yep. You get that all of a sudden Tyler Gaffney rips off an 80-yard touchdown, something we haven't seen yet out of Cathedral. The other thing, too, and I'm not going to put it.
I'm going to say a name that you might be familiar with. Tate Haynes was that guy.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to put up is those 3 teams that went to state for Cathedral, the 2 wins that they had and the 1 loss, they had a quarterback that could not only manage the game but potentially rip off a run if he needed to. Yeah. And I'm not saying, like, DJ Ralph wasn't the fastest guy, but he could run a little bit. Yeah. Charlie's not really a runner, and that's not a knock. I mean, it's just not his style of play. So you got Tate Haynes. I mean, if you're at 3rd and 17 and you run a pass play and all of a sudden something opens and Tate Haynes rips off an 18-yard run, that's a backbreaker, right? Because you got the team down 3rd and long. Let's get off the field. Quarterback run, boom. I mean, it's like, how do you come back from that? Yeah. Same thing in 2008. Parker Hipp, he doesn't get the same praise as a guy like Tyler Gaffney, right? But Parker Hipp, out of the words of Coach Doyle himself, he said, if I didn't have Tyler Gett, Parker Hipp could throw for over 325 yards a game. That's how good of a quarterback he was, but he was an unselfish player. In fact, he was so good of a quarterback, but an athlete in general, that they moved him to receiver a handful of times because they needed somebody to make a play. So they have had playmakers in the past. This team doesn't have that one go-to guy, put the team on your back type of player.
I'll say this. You know, part of me says, I mean, I hear that. We're talking about offense for the most part, I think. There's a guy on defense that's a playmaker, and he showed it to us in De La Salle. Got in the backfield. I mean, as the quarterback's handing the ball to the running back, who punched that ball out? Who's the game changer on defense that makes turnovers? There's two guys.
Are the two outside linebackers?
I'd say one's a defensive end, one's a backer.
And Jackson Moy and Tano Latuli?
See, I would say Jackson Moy, and I'm going to say Harmon. Harmon's the guy that hit that running back in the backfield that got us the ball back that kept us in that game in the third quarter. You look at Harmon, he's in the right place at the right time, causing turnovers.
I think
Time and time
I think
again.
Tano's a playmaker. I think the defense has guys that rally the ball, but that as a unit, they don't need that one guy that needs to make plays. And I think overall, Cathedral has so many different weapons that it's like they should be good. That's good enough to win without having that one guy. But if you want to win those big games against teams like De La Salle and Centennial, and who knows if they are able to make it through state, who they'd have to play, you know, somebody's going to have to step up. Or everybody just needs to do the little things together and win as a collective.
I don't see them doing the little things together and winning it. We're gonna have, and Alpha Dog's got to show up the next 5 weeks, or it's gonna be a short off season.
Let's get to our top 10.
Sounds good.
I still have Cathedral 1.
Cathedral
I think they're the best team in San Diego. We were talking, and I think Lincoln's too.
I agree. I mean, I saw the other rankings come out. Lincoln just keeps rolling.
They're
after what they did
right.
to another Division I team, you know, they showed that they belong in the number 2 spot. So I have Lincoln at number 2 as well.
What did we say last week when it came to the Lincoln-Carlsbad argument? If Carlsbad goes out and throttles Mission Hills,
Then
I
we
think
might
you can
consider
make the
moving
argument
up.
that
Yep.
Carlsbad is number 2 in the county. But
Right.
the fact that game was close, the fact that Mission Hills didn't have their starting quarterback the entire
the fact
game.
that Lincoln blew out Mission Hills.
Right. I think that's and the fact that Lincoln played Los Al, who's better than Lawndale
I agree.
and Milliken and
Milliken.
Great Oak.
Yep.
But you don't get that reward in the new CIF rankings, which we'll get to in a little bit,
By the way, that's why.
because it's all the same. It's
That's
all
what I
viewed
said.
as the
Didn't we say that?
same.
Didn't we say that? It was
Yeah.
going to hurt teams that played out of.
It was going to hurt teams that played good teams out of
Yep.
out
And
of
we said
CIF.
it before the season.
Right.
On our first show, we said that.
I got Carlsbad 3.
I got Carlsbad 3.
I'm going Torrey now 4.
I got Torrey 4.
I got Helix 5.
Don't agree with that.
I think if Helix played Mission Hills, they'd win.
I don't agree with that.
I think so. I think
got
Helix
Mission
beats
Hills
Mission
at
Hills. I got Mission Hills at 6.
Fair enough.
And then I got East Lake at 7.
I got El Camino at 6.
What are they, 1 and 3?
I got El Camino at 6.
They won on a forfeit, by the way. We thought El Camino was going to beat Westview by a lot. They beat them 2-0 technically because they beat them on a forfeit.
I got El Camino at 6.
I don't have El Camino in my top 10. I got East Lake 7. I got Mater Dei 8.
Hold on. We're going to go 7-7.
I'm going to finish out, and then you can finish out.
Whatever.
Madison 9, Mount Carmel 10.
Okay. My 7 scripts,
Okay?
which you don't have in your top 10.
I don't.
I got Helix at 8.
Do you think if Scripps Ranch played Helix, they would win?
Right now, yes.
I don't. I
do.
disagree with you.
That's why we do this. I got Mount Carmel at 9.
Okay?
I got Scripps.
Wait.
I screwed up something.
You love Scripps Ranch so much.
I
You
got
have
them
them in the
here
top
twice.
10 twice.
This is actually, yeah, I guess I do. Yep.
Madison? What are they, 4-1?
This would be a toss-up for me between Madison and Granite Hills, I think. It's close.
Madison beat Granite head-to-head, didn't they?
It's close.
It's close. All right. Fair enough.
All
Now
right.
for the juicy stuff.
Let's talk about what everybody's here to talk about. Let's talk about.
Do you want to get the coaches' quotes in first, or do we?
Yeah, you go for it, man. Let's go.
Okay, so I want to talk
By the way,
about
before
this.
you do that, I just want to say I called this man today. He ghosted me.
Robbie?
So I called him. I texted him. Even asked him to call me back. I called him right before our show. Robbie, where's the love?
I'm going to read some things from Robbie because
Go ahead.
I think First of all, I agree with him, and I'm glad he said them, so I didn't have to.
Well, I don't mind. I would have said them.
I know you would have. Helix head football coach Robbie Owens had this to say about
On Twitter.
About the Cal Preps, Max Preps /
We're back to mood lighting.
That's right. Where's your wine? Not here.
I whine every week.
The Cal Preps, Max Preps rating system with the CIF rankings. Robbie Owens had this to say on Twitter. It is embarrassing as a section we made the decision to change from Cal Preps ranking because coaches aren't intelligent enough to understand an algorithm. Now we have a system that doesn't take into consideration head-to-head. How is Lincoln behind Mission Hills? He goes on to say, which by the way, they changed it. And after they changed it, they adjusted the rankings. I had to go in there and change. So they actually knocked Lincoln down more by Helix being 3-1, not 3-2. But he goes on to say, Helix football is 3-1, by the way, not 3-2. They have us with a loss to a team that canceled the game against us because of COVID. It should be a forfeit. They weren't the only ones dealing with protocols, but CIF San Diego has the score from the COVID season. It is a joke. Welcome to CIF San Diego High School football.
Ouch, that's a burn.
That's a
burn.
Is he wrong though?
I'm not saying he's wrong.
He's not. I mean, he really went scorched earth on social media last night.
He did.
And I was all for it because everything he said was true. Everything he said was true. And you got coaches now today, all of a sudden they're going back on their votes because out of all five of the conferences in San Diego, only one of them voted no to change it to the CIF rankings, and they wanted to stay with Max Preps.
Who was that?
North County. They said, we got to stay with the Cal Preps ratings, which is funny because when all this stuff's going on, people are going, well, I see that the North County teams are benefiting from the rules that they wanted to change, but they weren't actually the teams that wanted to do it. They wanted to stay with the Cal Preps ratings.
Oh, there you go.
So you can't complain that North County changed all the rules.
Okay, which is a segue into your next comment. Go ahead and read the next one.
The next comment.
Now I want to read the third one, by the way.
I got the Ron Berner one.
You get Berner.
El Capitan head coach Ron Berner. It was voted on by all San Diego coaches because a lot complained about Max Preps. Majority favored the change period. We can all complain, but at the end of the day, stop blaming CIF. They just went with the majority. Do I agree? Not at all, but we have to live with it now. I disagree with this. You had the ability to go with a system that, no system is perfect, but they're pretty damn close. They were 100. Cal Preps was. Listen. This is how they were close. Cal Preps was 100% correct in seeding the open playoffs every single year they seeded it.
Right.
It's
denying that.
It's not. It doesn't get much better than that.
Okay, but my thing is this. It was voted on by all San Diego coaches because a lot complained about the Max Preps.
Right.
You go back to Robbie's comment earlier. It said, we have a system. What is this? Coaches aren't intelligent enough to understand an algorithm.
It's correct.
But you're saying that Berner's wrong. What I'm saying is this. The system is right. We should have stayed with Cal Preps and Max Preps. But who's to blame? The people that voted on this.
Right.
So Berner's right. Berner's right in the fact
Well,
that
the ones-
can't complain if you voted for it.
Well,
you
the
shouldn't be
coaches
sitting here
the
complaining.
coaches that are complaining are the ones that voted against it.
That's not true.
Helix voted against it.
Okay, who else though?
Who else voted against
There's
it?
people
The
on
North
this list.
County.
There's people on this list that I can tell you that voted for it
You know who
because
did?
they didn't understand it.
San Pasquale voted against it. I know for a fact that Cathedral voted against it.
No. Now, I'm gonna
They
say
were
this.
the only team in the
I'll
Western
say
League,
this
it
to you.
sounds like, that they were
There's
voting
a lot
against
of
it.
people who would complain about it and say they voted against it, but behind closed doors, voted for it.
Well, it sounded like every
There was enough votes
every
to pass
league.
it.
Right.
So somebody's not telling the truth somewhere. Let me read the next comment. This one actually, and I will say this. I actually agree with Jason Carter in this one, and the reason being is there's no way in hell Lincoln should be that low.
No, there isn't.
No way in hell.
And honestly, I think that's the biggest complaint that everybody has, and not just Lincoln. Who did Robbie mention? Did he mention his own team?
No, he said the highest.
He mentioned Lincoln.
Yeah.
When I look at it,
That's the
I'm
glowing
mentioning
one.
Lincoln. And I think, and you know what? I am so thankful that Cathedral came in at number 1, so it doesn't sound like I'm sour grapes.
We're being biased.
But I look at it, it's dumb. And you go through division by division, you're like, what are we doing here? And I think, the most infuriating one is the way that they have it set up. They value just whatever team. I know it says it's in there like, oh, we did it tiered per division.
Right.
No way. But the one thing that is the most
Can
flawed.
I read Carter's comment before
Yep.
we go there?
The one thing that's most flawed is like Cathedral playing Centennial is the same equivalent as Carlsbad playing Lawndale because they're in the same type of division out of town. But in reality, those are two totally different teams.
Totally different programs. Not
Programs,
just teams, but
yes.
programs. And quality of competition.
Same thing with Lincoln playing Los Al compared to, Mission Hills playing Palos Verde Valley.
Yep, 100% agree.
Go
So,
ahead.
to Jason's comment, the offensive coordinator from Lincoln High School had this to say on social media. Disrespectful, to say the least. We lost to the number 7 team in the state at the time, but beat the number 3 ranked team in our power rankings convincingly, who barely lost to your number 2 by 6.
True. All true
Seems
statements.
odd, all North County teams in the open. Sad thing is, they don't even believe that. It's a joke. How do you rank a team behind a team that convincingly beat them? But the main reason why
would you mess with a system that was working? That's the other one I have too. And again, it's the I look at the system and it seemed like the way D1 was set up, it was fine, but then for the lower levels, it was like this whole thing. I liked Andrew Clark's comment the best. He said, and he explains the whole advisory committee. He's on one of those, so he knows the inside knowledge of that. But he said, don't understand why the advisory committee thought this would be better. The argument that we don't know everything that goes into CalPrep's formula, thus it's bad, doesn't hold water. And I agree with that. That was the biggest complaint during the offseason. It was like, well, we don't know what the algorithm is. Who cares? Who cares?
We said that plenty of times.
Right? I mean, we've said that on our podcast ever since we started the podcast. It's like, well, we don't know do you really need to know, like, the X plus Y?
The last line on this is probably the most convincing to me.
It's the best part. I was kind of the suspense here. I'm leading into this. I don't know all the ingredients in Thin Mints, but it doesn't make them less delicious. 100% true.
100% true. Now, on a side note, I asked Joe Hines directly to be on the advisory committee when he took over for CIF. Up until he took over, there was a good conversation that was going to happen. Unfortunately, when Joe took office, I was not invited to be part of the advisory committee. So I just want to throw that in there as, I don't want to say personal dig, but
who's on the advisory committee?
That's the other part. Some of those coaches aren't at some of the bigger programs.
Right.
Some of them have their own agendas.
Right, 100%. I mean,
So
it's a lot of.
I thought it would be a good idea, and I would even say to the coaches out there, yeah, it doesn't have to be me, but I think there should be a representative from the media or someone outside the coaches' arena that is completely unbiased.
That throws me out.
That can look at these games and these teams and give a fair assessment of where they are. I just don't see every coach is going to go in there and say my team's the best. They're always going to come in with their own agendas.
That was the old playoff system, right?
Yeah. So
the
what's
old
the
playoff
difference?
system, we're going to get all the coaches in one room and we're going to rank
why are
everybody.
so then my question would be, why are there coaches on this advisory committee?
I don't know.
Why would there be?
It's CIF, man. They do a lot of things that don't make any sense.
Well, I mean,
I've been in that office a handful of times, and the whole time
people that work there. Look, I like the people.
They're all
that work
nice.
there, but
I
I'll say
like them
this.
as people, but
in
like
any other sport, in any other market, in any other industry, that would be considered racketeering.
yeah. I will put it this way: Who runs the state of California when it comes to high school sports? What section?
Southern section.
Who calls all the shots?
Southern section.
Who makes all the money?
Southern section.
What are they doing?
Not what we're doing.
They're using CalPreps.
Yep.
And you know what they're also doing, which I think is fantastic?
Yep.
They eliminate divisions before the season started.
Yep. You can go back and look. Right now, if you look on the top, it'll say division, none.
They eliminated them.
Got it.
And they're just going to go off the CalPreps ratings, which, by the way, has every single team in the country on it. Every
not
single
the state,
team in the
not
country
city, not
that's
San Diego,
updating
nationally.
constantly where we get our spreads from. And no, Ned Freeman did not pay us to give him basically an infomercial on how great his website is.
But I use it. I mean, it works.
It's great.
It's fantastic.
But the thing is, it's like you go through. So the Southern section is going to do the top 16 teams rated in the Southern section are in what they call the Open, whatever, D1, whatever, their top bracket.
Hey, can
and
we
then
go
the
over
next
them?
16 teams, boom, doing it again.
All right, let's go over the Division One CIF rankings that came out today. Let's just go through them. You'll read D1, I'll go D2.
Okay, the ones just on our sheet, the ones that are in yellow would have are either in the Open or a first round bye. Green are making the playoffs, red are out.
Yep.
Is D5 taking 12 teams? They always change. I
don't know.
They always change, so I don't know.
I think it's 8 in D5, if I'm correct.
I
Because
thought it
their
was 2.
championship is a week before.
Okay, so let's talk about
We got guests.
Let's talk
Someone's
about,
having a beer in the background.
that's fun. Do you want to pick? Do you want to pick
Viva
celebrity
Viva
games?
Los.
If the season ended today, the Open Division would be Cathedral the 1 seed, Carlsbad 2, Mission Hills 3, Torrey Pines 4. You'd have the rematch of Carlsbad Torrey. You'd have the rematch of you'd have the rematch of Cathedral Torrey, rematch of Carlsbad Mission Hills.
Can I just say something obviously that stands out to me?
Lincoln's not in it.
Well, obviously that's not it, but those games are the most ticket draw for the entire county. Those
are.
would have the biggest draw at a home game for the Open. Who makes the most money off of that? Those teams being in
CIF
there?
makes I think like 90% of all the ticket sales.
So does it help CIF if Lincoln's in there, or does it help CIF if Mission Hills is in there?
I will say this: if they were really concerned about that, they'd make sure that Saints and Cathedral match up in the championship all the time. That would be the biggest moneymaker.
Well, I mean,
no matter
considering
what.
Saints is where they are, I mean, it's kind of hard to pull that one
Their
off. without
alum,
making...
their alums
yeah, but that
gonna
would
go.
set off alarms.
I'm
and bells
just saying,
and whistles.
that would be the biggest.
I don't
moneymaker.
know, dude. I mean, I
But-
think it's a snub.
But Lincoln, by the way,
How did Lincoln drop below
they're
Helix?
not. They took that Helix fake loss off.
They
of
went
by
from
Modern.
2 down to 6.
Well, they weren't in 2 on CIFs. They're 2 on all the other ones that make sense, and on CIFs they're 6. Terrible.
Okay.
Think about it this way: not only would Lincoln not be in the Open Division, they would not even get the 1 seed
in D2.
in
Or
D1.
In D1.
They wouldn't even get the 1 seed in D1.
Wow. Are they? They're undefeated. No, they've got 1 loss against Los Al, and that's it, right?
They lost to Los Al, and that's it.
Wow.
Not even good enough to be in the Open.
And Helix got blown out by Cathedral.
They lost to the number 1 team on there by 52. Lincoln beat the number 3 team on there like 30-6.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Stupid.
That doesn't make sense.
Here's the other thing that drives me nuts.
Listen, I like Eastlake, but 7?
Here's the other thing that drives me nuts. The whole, well, just let it play out. If it was a good rating system, we wouldn't have to let it play out. And CalPreps, it's money all the time.
Every week.
Let's just rip through it. Helix would get the 1 seed. Lincoln would get the 2. Eastlake 3, Madison 4 would be the buys. Granite Hills, Grossmont, Oceanside, Saints, Steel Canyon, LCC, El Camino, San Marcos would finish it out. D2. 1 seed would be Scripps. 2 seed would be Poway. Otay Ranch would have the 3. Christian would have the 4. Rancho Bernardo, Valley Center, La Jolla, Mira Mesa, Morris, San Pasqual, San Diego, and Central. Bishops, Vista, Olympian, and Point Loma would not make the playoffs.
I don't have too many issues with that. That one looks pretty legit.
Division 3 looks like it's setting up for a modern-day Catholic Santa Fe Christian final, right? Anybody in Division 3 going to touch modern day?
I think Mount Carmel might give them a run for their money. Their defense is pretty good. Jaden Burden is pretty good.
They would be a 5 seed right now.
See, I think they should be at least they have 1 loss.
Mount Carmel?
Yeah.
I don't think they have a loss.
And they get a 5 seed with being undefeated? I don't see that one.
I don't
That might
get
be
it.
a bit of a problem for
I don't factor the record in too much as who did you beat and who did you lose to. But again, it doesn't make
Mount
Carmel should probably be the third
Modern
best
Day's
team.
played 3 games though, haven't they?
Right.
And they beat Imperial.
They beat Brawley. They
Okay.
beat Westview. And they beat La Jolla. La Jolla is probably their biggest win to boost them up there. But again, it's not about the caliber of team. It's about what division they are in. And I know CIF's going to sit there and go, we rated the percentages of how good the teams are in D1. It's not the same. You can't just go out there and put your own formula together and expect it to be the best. I think it's
D4.
dumb. D4, UC, Coronado, RBV, Francis Parker, Valhalla, Del Norte, Patrick Henry, La Jolla Country Day, Southwest El Centro, Montgomery, Sweetwater, Mount Miguel, in that order.
That's pretty accurate.
University City Coronado final. Is that what it's going to match up to be?
Nope. I'm taking RBV. I think RBV is going to go against University City for the D4 final.
Oh, I didn't ask you in D3. Does El Cap have a chance to surprise some people?
Yes.
They're not bad. I think they're pretty decent.
Dude. Yokley is a baller.
Well, we were talking about earlier with Cathedral with playmakers.
Yokley's
the type. He's the type of player that could carry a team like El Cap. Absolutely.
Listen, if the guy could throw the ball and catch it himself, he probably would.
What about a semifinal or quarterfinal matchup between Mount Carmel and El Cap?
El Cap.
That'd be fun.
Tough.
That'd be a good game.
Yep, that would be a good
I'd
game.
be all for that. D5, Palo Verde, Holtville, Mission Bay, Farrell Charter. It was when I was in high school, Fallbrook was in D1 championships, and now they're in D5. I know
how quickly the mighty have fallen.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I was absolutely gonna say that. I know they had like 4 head coaches in 1 year.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of changes up there, and hopefully it starts changing for the better. Escondido Charter, Foothills Christian, Calexico, Maranatha, San Ysidro, and Crawford. Anything else you want to air out on the? I don't have any awards, by the way, for.
No, I'm good in awards. And we were out of town last week, so I did catch the PPR. I want to give a shout out to Paul Rudy. I mean, dude, he goes out and brings in a kid from a D4 program that nobody knows about in Connor Underhill. I had a chance to meet Connor over the weekend. Great young man, very respectful. He was at Rancho Bernardo, and he transferred over to Rancho Buena Vista. Between him and that running back, they're putting up some points. They lost that game to Mount Carmel, but other than that, they've had an undefeated season, and that's a big change for that program.
How early does he have to get up for work?
Who?
Paul Rudy?
Like 3 in the morning.
Does he take a nap in the middle of the day before he does the PPR?
Yeah.
That's a long day.
Well, Fridays he doesn't do the morning show.
Oh, he doesn't? Oh.
No, doesn't do the morning show.
I'm having internet issues.
By the way, if you guys haven't checked out TSC Sports, dude, last week, I got to tell you, I'm going to brag a little bit, okay? I've done video, and I thought I was a pretty good videographer, okay?
You're not as good as Calvin.
Dude,
Sorry.
I watched that what was the Palomar versus Southwestern. That was one of the dopest videos I've ever seen in my life at the NFL level, college level, anything. He did such a great job on that video, dude. This dude should be working for ESPN. Like, if you guys don't watch his stuff, go to YouTube, go to Instagram. He's putting out some fantastic work. And we are very blessed to have his talents here in San Diego.
Absolutely. I like the Mirror Mason one was good.
Yep.
You know, he's
played for my brother. And my brother's keeper, I think it was called.
I prefer the ones that have my highlight calls in there. Those are always fun to watch. Calvin gets my highlight calls for the Cathedral games. I like throwing those on there. Not streaming again this week. I'm kind of surprised.
You are or not?
Not. It's on the road. Trying to stream the Saints game.
You know Whaley's out.
I do know that. I was talking to Darian the other day. Yeah. We do want to give a shout out real quick to the Powell brothers, Mark and Frank Powell. Thanks again for helping us put this together. Your real estate pros, trusted, respected, recommended. You can give them a call at 858-922-7725. Big shout out to JR Tolver for helping out as well. Let's get to some of the game picks for this week. We're going to go through it off Max Preps here. I'll try to get the Cal Preps projections as quick as possible so we can pitch against the spread and really make us look foolish. There's a couple of them that missed by like 2 points last week, by the way.
By the way, where am I seeing the spread on these?
You got to do it yourself. They don't do it until October 1st. You got one more week, and then you'll see it on there. All right, we ready?
I'll let you do it. Where are we at? Max Preps? You give me the game, we'll give you my thoughts.
We got the two teams that look exactly alike. Well, they used to, and then Grossmont changed their helmet. The Grossmont Foothillers and the Mira Mesa Marauders. We played in the Mecca. Grossmont 2-3, Mira Mesa 1-2. Thoughts?
I'm taking Mira Mesa.
I like Mira Mesa in this game more than I liked him in last game against Loyola. We'll see how they do. I will say, like, Grossmont is battle tested to an extent in terms of like the on-field thing. So that's a very interesting thing. Cal Prep's got Mira Mesa favored by 10.
I'm taking that. Plus, we're doing it for Tompe. My guy Dennis
First home game back, right?
My guy Dennis Fagan is going to be the difference maker in this game, and the Marauders are going to win. You know why? Because he's his brother's keeper.
I like Mira Mesa at home. First game back. Grossmont scuffling a little bit after they beat El Camino. And to be honest, I mean, that's their only win is the El Camino win.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to beat anybody else at that point in time. Let's get to another game. Cathedral Catholic at Steel Canyon. That spread's 46.
They're going to cover the spread.
I think they cover it too. It's going to be a tough game. Although there's a mutual respect level there. Coach Montali, Coach Longerbone, good friends. I don't know.
I got
maybe.
an unpopular question I want to ask you.
An unpopular question. Okay.
With Don's fans. We all know that Sean has to sit out 2 games for what happened during the Lincoln game.
Right.
So far, he's been on the sidelines for all the games.
Right.
When do we expect, do those have to be City League games?
They're the first 2 league games, yes.
So they have to be league games.
Right, so it's Madison and Saints.
So Sean will not be on the sidelines for Madison or Saints?
No.
Okay. I didn't know, and I'm getting asked all the time, so I figured I'd ask somebody from the inside.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Cathedral's 1-0 without Doyle on the sidelines, by the way. Lincoln, Otay Ranch, I don't expect this to be much of a game. Lincoln's favored 35-7, so favored by 28 points.
They'll cover. I'll take Lincoln.
I think they cover as well. Going down the list here, trying to find games. St. Augustine Mater Dei. John Joyner going against his alma mater. They're undefeated. They're at home, down the street over here.
By the way, you know that's the PPR game of the week?
It should be.
Rudy
a lot
calls
of,
me.
lot
Rudy
of
calls
juice
me.
on that one.
Rudy calls me and he's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
What do you mean, what do you do?
What's the storyline?
What's the storyline?
Oh, we always talk like that. What's the storyline?
Storyline is
The storyline is this. St. Augustine has been a preeminent football program in San Diego County for nearly a decade.
right.
Mater Dei is an up-and-coming football program that's had success recently in lower divisions, but more recently, after obtaining the new offensive coordinator, Verlaine Batofe, they've made strides, not only on the football field, but in the classroom and getting guys Division I offers. And because of that, they're now taking center scope and putting their crosshairs on big programs like St. Augustine. So this is really a David versus Goliath matchup.
I think St. Augustine's really the David in this matchup. The way they're playing, man.
Listen, that's why you tell the story a certain way.
Mater Dei.
I agree.
Mater Dei is
wins
expected
this
to
game.
win 38-14.
Okay, I'll take
I think
that.
they
Mater
cover.
Dei.
I'm taking Mater Dei as
Yep.
well. Interesting game. I think this one's going to be good. Rancho Buena Vista at Mount Carmel. 4-1 RBV at 4-0 Mount Carmel. Should be a good one. Drew Westling really turned around Mount Carmel very quickly. They got some good talent out there. That should be a good game at the arguably the biggest stadium in San Diego, Sun Devil Stadium, whatever they call it.
As much as I want RBV to win, because I think Connor's a great kid, I just think that defensive coordinator Deontay Lee's been doing a fantastic job over at Mount Carmel. And I
He
think
had
he's
some
just-
comments on the rankings, by the way, too.
I think he's I think I'm going to go with the Sun Devils. What's the spread on that?
27-6, 21 points.
No cover.
I think they cover too. So I'm in agreement with you. Moving down the list, what about Morse Madison, a battle of 2 3-1 teams?
Madison.
I got Madison as well.
Listen, Madison, please win. Because if you lose, you're going to blame it solely on me.
Wait, you picked Madison? God, I should probably pick Morse then.
Please don't. Please don't.
I think Madison's going to win that game. This one's pretty good too. They called it a slugfest. I thought that was kind of, is that too soon for this game?
Which one?
Eastlake and El
Please
Camino?
don't call it Slugfest.
That's what I said. I saw that, and I know the kid.
I know the kid who got hurt.
I know the kid that got hit.
I know the kid who got hit too. He got laid out.
Our boy Q is not. I texted my brother because my brother's good friends with Q, and I said, "Do you think Q would like it being called a slugfest?" And he just responded with, "Ha ha 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 ha." But
Listen, dude.
it's a little touchy. I don't.
That's a bad. Who said that?
Dago football.
Oh, never, I have no comment.
I'm just gonna lay it out there. That's what he
I
said.
know-
I almost
that's
tweeted
not
at him.
classy,
I almost
dude.
tweeted at him like,
Dude, that's
Slugfest.
not classy, dude. Come on, we're not here to get kids hurt. That was a cheap shot.
slugfest. It was, yeah.
Dude was running full speed across that field, lowered his head to a defenseless receiver, laid that dude out.
It wasn't even during
the bad part? Do you know who the kid was that stepped aside so he could go by?
No,
Do you remember seeing that though?
I did.
I was like, now that guy right there, I would not want to be his teammate, dude.
He's not winning the clubhouse.
He's not a clubhouse guy, dude.
No.
I'm not going to want to be that guy's teammate.
Eastlake's favored by a touchdown.
You know what?
I got Eastlake. Where's that game? Oh,
You know
it's at
what?
El Camino. Could that be the farthest
way,
drive
I
ever
wanna-
for a game?
I got to say No, it's actually not. It's Oceanside versus
San Ysidro?
No, Oceanside versus Olympian, I think is the farthest drive in San County. It's close though. It's like a mile
El
and a half.
Camino's up there though in Ocean. Like they're inland and stuff. It's hard to get
I've been
there.
I've been there, I know. But I want to go back and say one thing. So I got a phone call last week about my Jordan Blondin comments.
Okay.
So apparently, all the East Lake people there was a coach's tweet or a coach's text that went out. There's a player's text that went out that said, go back to such and such part of the video, and TopDAWG actually gave Jordan Blondin some love.
Is that when you were talking about the Wildcat they were going to run?
So I think there was like 30 people that went and watched this thing just because of that little part. But I will say this, Jordan has seriously given that offense a spark.
They needed
I
that.
don't know if when the sophomore gets healthy and his shoulder is, his collarbone's not fractured or it heals, I don't know that I'd put him back there again. I let him go to JV, take some snaps, get healthy, get some reps. Let the seniors take care of this. Let them enjoy their senior year. Let Blondin has led a spark in that offense. And listen, at some point you're going to play modern day. So why not battle test yourself against El Camino? Go out there with a game plan of running that Wildcat, and maybe Jordan throws 5 or 6 passes during the game, whatever it may be in situational. Give it to Jordan. Let Jordan and that defense, let the defense keep you in the game. Let Jordan win the game for you.
If Eastlake doesn't have a bad offensive showing against Poway, they're undefeated right now.
If he doesn't throw 2 pick sixes.
Yeah, they're undefeated right now.
They are.
I have been the victim of that before. I remember my first year coaching at Cathedral JV, played Helix. We lost 21-14. As a defense, we only gave up 1 first down. We gave up all 3 touchdowns, 99-yard, 2 pick sixes, and 1 fumble recovery for a touchdown. All 99 yards.
How do you win a game? You can't win a game like that.
No. I was like, I don't know much more we can do defensively, Coach.
Yeah. Coach,
we're doing our thing.
Your offense did this.
Speaking of Helix, RIP.
Wait, is this the week?
Yeah. This is
Come on,
one of 2 weeks in a row. Good luck.
Listen,
Good
that's
luck.
all I got, man. Look, I'm giving you a salute now.
Oh, man.
I don't put this team on my schedule, dude. I saw them in the offseason. Those dudes are monsters. Listen, I don't
It
even
doesn't
know
get easier next week. Well, actually, it does.
Who
It
they
gets
play next
easier
week?
next week.
Who do they play next week?
Mission Viejo. It gets a slight,
You
little
mean the
bit.
program that has 500 kids in it?
Yeah. A school that doesn't play schools that get bussed in, or schools that are private, as they have like all these kids. I don't know.
Yeah,
Mission
that
Viejo's
doesn't
their own
make
deal.
sense.
Anyway, what do you think the spread is of that game? Don't cheat. Don't look. Guess.
35.
More.
42.
More.
49.
More.
56.
More.
63.
Less. 62.
Wait a minute.
Servite is projected to win that game against Helix 62-0. Are you taking Servite minus 62 or Helix plus 62?
Considering what Helix did against
Cathedral
Cathedral, I'm taking Servite, man. I'm sorry.
minus 62 points.
I don't even know how to say that, dude. Like, I can't. How do you say that with a straight face? On a 62-point spread, I'm still not gonna bet with you. No wonder Robbie doesn't answer my calls.
It's a tough week for him. Okay, let him do his thing.
Okay, that's fair.
It's a tough week for him.
I didn't
He's gotta
realize
play,
it was Servite
He's got to
week,
play
man.
Servite this week, and then he's got to play Mission Viejo. He's upset about the rankings, which I am too.
Yeah.
But
He got bigger things to worry about. Literally.
I'm trying to think, like, if I was in like Vegas or at a sports book and I saw a spread plus 62
I've
points.
never seen a football game with a spread of 62, dude.
I mean, Alabama playing like Mercer is not even that high.
I've never seen a spread of 62 at a football game at any level.
Calvin plus 62, minus 62.
What do you
Who are you
got?
taking? Servite minus 62 or Helix plus 62?
Now keep in mind, Helix lost 52-0 to Cathedral. And arguably Servite is a step above that.
Dude, there's only so much time in a game. I mean, they got to be scoring like every 3 minutes.
What's that? 62 points.
They're gonna cut. They don't cover.
You want to put a dinner bet on that? A side bet? So if they cover, you owe me dinner at Nicolosi's next week. And
All right.
if not, I got you dinner. Bet. I can only do it one guy.
I'll buy an appetizer for both. We'll all be
I want
winners.
a beer.
Not on the show.
No,
Maybe after.
hold on. I want a bourbon. If we're betting, I want bourbon.
Bourbon. A bourbon bet.
I want a bourbon bet.
Is that an Italian place? You know, want wine or something?
Yeah.
I like whiskey. It's fine. Bourbon, whiskey, whatever.
Bourbon whiskey. Okay, I buy you a whiskey.
No, you're making the bet with him. Or you
No, I
want
got
a
a
drink?
side
You
bet.
want dinner and a drink
Hey,
too?
I'm gonna be tipsy and full.
What is my bet in this?
Yeah, if
You already picked
win,
the two
you get a
teams. I
whiskey.
know, but what? So I got to be with Calvin on the deal.
Basically, I'm either
What
gonna have
did
a
you
great
take
night or have a
again?
crap night.
Who did you take again?
Servite not covering. That's 40 points.
It's
hold on.
It's
Why are
tough.
you-
It's
Adam
tough.
Paul, hold
Here's
on.
why it's tough.
Hold
Here's
on.
why it's tough.
Adam
I
Paul
saw the
just
text.
comment, so I'm just gonna say Adam. That's 40 points, my guy. That's not a 62. And if you know what, text me. You got my number too. You can text me. You can put a chat marker in here. But bottom line is, are you taking Helix plus 62, or are you taking Servite giving up 62? I want to hear it.
Why is this the toughest pick for us this week?
Not for me. I said it.
Well, here's my. I'm trying to like think about it logically. So like 62 points is a lot. They got to do it in the amount of time that they have. Is that game on the? It's at Servite too. Oh boy. But the thing that here's the X factor
wait.
though.
You said something about the clock. Just remember, when you're home team, you control the clock.
The other thing, don't they have? They play longer quarters up there, don't they?
No.
Or is that? Oh no. The freshmen and JV do. They play 12-minute quarters on freshmen and JV like they do in varsity. Anyway, Servite's the type of team though that's not going to call off the dogs. They're just
No.
going to go.
We're gonna keep that foot on the throat. And look, they're trying to get recognition. They're gonna make you an example. You're Helix.
In
They're
order
going
to cover,
stop.
in order to cover 62, you got to score 62. And that's assuming Helix doesn't get like a lucky score or something like that. And if they do, that means they got to score what, 69?
Okay, did they get a lucky score against Cathedral?
They didn't. But I think they got one score up their sleeve. I'm with Calvin. All right, yeah.
Deal?
Yeah, I'm signing up for
Here
you.
you go.
He's got one touchdown? I mean, even if they kick a field goal, they got to score,
Listen, I'm gonna say
65
this.
points.
I never wish this on an athlete. I just hope Washington finishes the game. Dude, I'm just
All
going
those.
to tell you right now, them dudes of a Servite, they hitters.
Speaking of,
Like one-hitter quitters type hitters. They're not, this ain't no San Diego, like, best player in San Diego type hitters.
did you know that Olympian was playing Oceanside this week?
Yes.
That's farther than the.
Yes. That's why I said it.
And they both got to go. Are they carpooling? They should carpool.
Are you kidding me? El Camino and Oceanside? That's
No,
like the worst rivalry in
no.
San Diego.
Olympian and Eastlake.
Ocean carpool
They're
up
going
there?
up.
Oh.
Save some money on the buses. It's gonna take them forever to get an early dismissal for that game.
I guess.
Traffic
Let's just
on a
hope there's no
Friday.
traffic on the 5. What else we
Uh,
got? Come on, let's finish this up.
Christian La Jolla. You want to pick that game?
Christian.
Really?
Yep. Saw them a couple weeks ago, and they look impressive. I like them.
Does La Jolla win another game?
And I think that running back that came over from Santana is available this week.
Does La Jolla win another game?
Yeah, they beat. Nah, I don't know.
This is their best chance.
I don't know.
Is this not their best chance
Man,
to win
how
another
you-
game?
Ooh, yeah, it is.
And if they don't, they go what, Chris?
4-6.
1-9.
Are you shitting me?
They have one win. Who else did they beat?
thought
Did they have
beat
2 wins? Who else did they beat?
I thought they had 2 wins at least.
They beat Bishops. Who else did they beat?
Bro, I just want to ask, is that a grown man back there heckling like that?
Yeah. You
That's
want to talk
pretty
to him?
bad. That's pretty bad, man.
He's getting his ass beaten pool. Let
Yeah,
him
but
do
he
his
needs to put a
thing.
little bass in his voice, okay? That's embarrassing.
Christian's favorite, 31-24.
Taking Christian.
Who did La Jolla beat?
Loya's got 2 wins.
I know. Who did they beat?
Look at him.
They beat They beat Bishops. They
Why
lost
can't
to
I get to
Scripps.
Loya?
They lost to Del Norte, and they lost to Mater Dei. Who did they beat?
I'm trying to look.
Oh, Point Loma. They beat Point Loma by a touchdown. The rest of the way, I don't think they win. If they don't win this week, they don't win. Lincoln, Madison Cathedral Saints. They win any of those games? I just don't see it.
No.
Any closing remarks?
I just hope everybody is safe this week, injury-free. We're at about the halfway mark of the football season. This is when the bumps and bruises need to be iced a little bit longer. Make sure you take your ice baths, after the game on Friday night, or maybe even after practice tomorrow or tonight. Be safe.
We're back to a full season, right?
Yeah.
Where
By
like
the way,
a lot of
what
these
about
kids.
all those guys that were on Twitter chirping about the variant shutting down high school football. I'm so glad that that's over. We're gonna finish the season. We're gonna have state playoffs.
Let's keep pushing through.
Yeah, we're just gonna man up, keep fighting through.
We do need a new venue for the state championship, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of all the COVID rules in LA, they can't do it in Cerritos anymore, so they have to find a new spot. So pick up the phone with Grupner, get the Holiday Bowl. It's already going to be set up in time.
Hey, I got Grupner's number.
Dry run at Petco Park.
Let's
State
go.
championship.
Let's go. What do you say? Make a call.
Sounds
You
good.
know him.
I do from the Padres.
I do too. So I'll make a call. See if we can
Plant the seed. See, like, hey, you know what?
Hey,
It's the first time doing
I'll
a
do
football
more than
game
that.
there.
I'll do more than that. I'll have
First
lunch.
time.
I'll have lunch downtown next week.
Santa Fe Christian might be playing for a state championship.
I'll invite Eric down, and I'll invite Joe down, and we'll see if we can't make this thing happen. What do you say?
Joe wouldn't even let you on the advisory committee, and you're going to.
I'm going to take care of him.
All right.
Listen, if I wait around for everybody to take care of me,
Where's
before I
CIF
take
gonna
care of
be?
them, I don't know.
Do we have a site for that? Is it at Southwestern? Because I know Southwestern's
heard.
been kind of like ridiculous when it comes to how much they charge CIF to
I don't know.
have games.
Again, I'm not on the advisory board.
Yeah, neither am I. It's
An
disrespectful.
invite would be nice, though.
It's disrespectful. I'm insulted.
I
I'm
imagine
insulted for you.
You're probably as insulted as being a number 7 seed in Division One.
6. It's ridiculous. Don't get me started on the game. That's
I'm
it.
TopDAWG. That's Braden. That's tonight's show. I'm gonna let him close out.
We'll see you guys next week.